Hey everyone, it's Fire, and I'm going to go over a few things here. I was going to add this to my next part of the playthrough on Rogue's Tale, but I decided I wanted to do this as a standalone video instead of interjecting it into the playthrough to keep that more clean. So if you do like a playlist and everything. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go over is in Rogue's Tale itself, and then after I talk about all that stuff, then I need to talk about some health stuff that I've been trying not to talk about, but I think it's kind of time I need to discuss that. So first off though, Rogue's Tale. And so we're going to go to here and look at the Rogue's Tale updates. So we'll see here, there's a very big bug that was fixed. Definitely bigger for inexperienced and new players, but definitely, pretty big. So there wasn't any physical resistance, and it's sounding like, I know it wasn't going on last time I played a lot, which was around 2 years ago. So around, I played a little bit after I released my playthrough of the first main one I did back in I think end of 2019, so it was roughly 2 years ago that I did it, and I think it sounds like it was going on close to shortly after that from the way I'm getting it. But so, and there's one other thing here too, but we'll go over that briefly as well. But yeah, I'm just going to read here from Nibbe, and so let's start. So it seems that there hasn't been any physical resistance for armor against anything for a while. I forgot brackets from a check, and thanks to that, everything always led to the same results, which is that physical resistance was 0 just before it should have been reduced damage. I couldn't find the bug first time when I checked because the debug spam said everything was good. If the early game has felt hard lately, it's due to this. Yeah, it's definitely something that added a lot more early game, definitely. And then the other bug was that on Dread Lord Nabon, I want to include, this isn't only a bug on Dread Lord Nabon, this is actually a bug on pretty much any of the bosses that have dialogue. You can skip it, and so I'm hoping it was fixed on them. It's something I'm kind of meaning to mention. So yeah, if it hasn't been fixed on that, maybe I'll mention that. I haven't played much on my main account lately. Actually, I haven't really played since this was released. And so yeah, I do want to see how it feels. I feel like things have been getting a little heated in my Discord. But yeah, so with Nabon though, Dread Lord Nabon, you could break all the graves. I'm assuming this is what you could have did. I feel like there might have been a video I had posted, or maybe it was a stream, because you don't have to kill Dread Lord Nabon, but I've done it on probably somewhere between a third and half of my playthroughs, and so a decent amount of those I've streamed, and I can't remember if there was a video or something where I remember skipping through and I was like, hey, they're not acting. I feel like I remember that, so I don't know if they found out from that. Sometimes I do feel like Nibbe's maybe because there's kind of two Discords. There's my Discord, and then there's another Discord for Rogue's Tale, and I participate a lot in both of them. I got my own, so I try to comment on that and everything. But so back to the resistance. Let's have a vote in the comments. Was that resistance bug game breaking or something that's hardly worth mentioning. Um, so definitely later on and stuff like that, I wasn't that big a deal. Some of the bosses, actually, Dread Lord Nabon was the thing I noticed the most. So what I thought it was, I didn't think it was a bug. I thought, so I hadn't played for a while. The two DLCs came out, and I thought with those and the addition of all the new armor pieces and everything, that just things got buffed. And so I didn't think anything of it because I definitely had noticed things. And honestly, the thing I noticed the most was Dread Lord Nabon. Though if you watched my playthrough 6, orcs hit hard. That one I mentioned, because I get hit 14, which actually even before that would happen with armor, when I know armor was working. So getting hit for 14 actually isn't uncommon. I mean, it's uncommon, but it's not unheard of is what I should say, with the armor working and everything. Because I use clubs and axes, so they're always crushing, so they'll have your armor too, a third of the time, essentially. So yeah, that makes your armor a lot less effective. But yeah, and then I got hit for 9 with a rock, which that was the one that really, you could see from my action, 9 from a rock. Let me switch back to my face. So yeah, 9 from a rock. That was brutal. I was like, wow. And I feel I was smart for, let's just restart that dungeon, because I needed to get off. It was more than Jess coming in, my significant other, and like she came in, she didn't realize I was streaming. And I left it in because I thought it was funny. I was really trying not to edit out anything. So and now I'm like, sometimes I'm just straight editing out stuff, and then a lot of times I'm just speeding up things. But the reason why I wasn't doing that before, like, is just, I guess, integrity. Like, I feel a lot of things. I've been watching a lot of stuff about scams and things like that. And then when you come to like social media and stuff, like so much of it is fake, or you're seeing things at their very best, or sometimes they are, inflated so they're better. And the same thing's done with games and all that. And so like with the full playthroughs, and why like I didn't want to edit, even like speed up, I just wanted everything, it's like, this is how I play, this is what I do, but I think that's pretty well understood. And so I just want to say, like, going forward, like, there was someone I watched a while ago, not gonna name them, I don't even know if they're making stuff anymore, like talking like a decade ago, is making videos, and then I come to find out like the gameplay isn't all their own. And so I'm like, so how much of that was like them, doing it and stuff like that? And I was just like, are you kidding me? So, I mean, if I'm ever not using my gameplay, it will be very explicitly like shown. Or if I'm doing something with, intentionally using like exploits or like editors or anything like that, that will also be very, very explicitly known that this is what I'm doing, because especially with roguelikes, like there's like a great deal of integrity in them, and I feel like, yeah, it's just if you're not able to do them without doing any of that, then it's like save scumming, or just using cheats or whatever, things like that. And by the way, I'm not accusing anyone, this is just how I think, and I do know these things go on and stuff like that. And I don't know with Rogue's Tale if it's prevalent really at all. Like it's something that creeps up in bigger games and things like that, where you really get people that do whatever they can. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into a rant about that. What the video was about, but I wanted this to be unedited. Speaking of edited, I wanted this to be unedited. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that. Oh, and then also I need to give real fast. I meant to do that when I was specifically talking about the physical resistance. So I believe Mike's in both Discords, definitely my Discord. So Mike, the I in their name is a 1, and they were the ones that really pushed. Like, I don't think there's physical resistance, and I was like, okay, but I hate, like, the thing is, I didn't care that much because I hate armor anyways. I always try to drop as fast as possible. Like, sometimes I go armorless, like, almost right at the beginning of the game, depending if I'm able to boost my life, because I just don't like dealing with armor. It breaks so easily, and then, yeah, it's just not very effective, because when you're talking about, even with plate armor, 5 physical resistance, and later on things are hitting so hard, it's not very much. And then, like, so something I've been also discussing with Mike in that is, like, why it wasn't that big a deal for, like, a lot of us and stuff like that, as far as the experienced players. Like, it sucked early on. I did see one very experienced player post on Steam, so I'm not, like, props to them for finding it and everything. But the way armor is, it's just the way armor is in Rogue's Tell, because it's not percentage. And when you're starting to get up into the 20s and 30s, sometimes even the 40s, with, like, the bosses, it's like you can't get that high. And so it's like, you can't get high enough to really negate it. And then this is the biggest thing, though, even if you could, get, or even, because you could get around 30 if with the rings of underdog. Yeah, because that's what they were using to, like, determine that. And but then there's the crushing, which I already talked about with orcs. Piercing, which just goes through all your armor. So right there, bad RNG makes your armor totally negated. So it's like right there, and a lot of things have piercing. Like Prince Ultron, basically the toughest encounter, he's using a bow. All arrows and bolts have piercing. Now it doesn't work if the game says 1 in 6 times, basically it works. I don't know if crit increases that. That's something I was trying to test out, and it's very hard unless you actually were able to see the numbers. I kind of want to post and ask Nibbe about that, if crit affects the rolls on, like, piercing and stuff like that, because now the encounters have potential crit, according to what they said in a previous actually, let me go back to that. Transitioned back to me. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay, here we go. So just gonna go to about where he's talking about there's a small chance that this will break some named and super powerful with their +3 crit. I've never thought crit was that great, but at the same time, I do feel like when I use it, things go better. Because hitting the head is only beneficial really for getting the critical hits. Like, some enemies aren't wearing helmets, so their head's slightly less protected. But anyways, but the thing is, so if it does work getting the piercing and the crushing, then that's definitely a reason to consider, yeah, more crit. Okay. But yeah, so it's just like it gets negated. And then the other big thing is magic damage, which I'm not sure of what bosses, like, I don't know the mods of all the bosses, but they were all, so there's no doubt about this. This wasn't part of the armor. They've all been buffed. Because before, like, the DLCs from when I was playing last 2 years ago a lot, like Germer always regenerates all their life once. There's the new boss Batakath, they heal all their life once. So they weren't even in the game before. But yeah, they have way more. Gurmur has way more hit points now than they did before. And more importantly, they have a lot more resistances. It's harder to get through with magic, though I still like being a caster. Or at least now I always play hybrid. I play blade, or as far as what I like to play, which I feel is the strongest, is a blade flurry mage. So sometimes I don't even go to 2 claws. I just stay with the staff. And it's great because if you're using this one weapon, you hit harder with that weapon too. Now it doesn't have the piercing, you have less chance, but you also don't miscast with spells. But I'm actually finding I don't even really have to use spells anymore, because of like the way I'm the new build that I've been using too with the jewelry and the legendary amulet. Like Radiance is really good, so I use the Ghost Form Radiance. So yeah, with all that, the crushing, piercing, magic damage, a lot of the enemies use magic damage, release souls magic damage, so there's magic damage, there's no resistance. So it's essentially piercing, but it doesn't have a damage type. So it's not in any of the 6 of physical, cold, fire, lightning, shock, I guess is to call it, this what the game calls it, but yeah, anyways, electricity, whatever you want to call it. So shock, poison, and disease. It's not in any of those, not in any of the 6. So it hits you, you take whatever damage, the game rolls for you. And then yeah, if you get bad rolls on all of the RNG, if you're relying on that. So hit points are always the best armor. Ring of Shielding is good too. A lot of really good players use Ring of Shielding too for their end build. I've gone to using a lot of regeneration. I really like. And now also with actually armor working, which I didn't know, it will make a difference. So yeah. All right. So I always end up talking longer than I think I'm going to, but I go into detail. That's one of my strengths, is I really like going into the detail and minutia of things. And so I like play game, like I'll pick a game and I'll play it a lot. And so Rogue's Tale's like one of those games over the year where I've picked, and I'll come back to it over the years, and I just enjoy it. I enjoy like finding like everything I can to make. I like keep on making it like easier. Sometimes I'll do the opposite and really try to do like a challenging thing, but I also like to find the easiest. And then that's the thing, is now I'm like sharing that knowledge, and so I plan on going forward with more games in that aspect. So now we're getting to the other part of the video, which was me doing videos, and so I'm looking at like so I work, but I work part-time, and the reason why is I'll get into that in a second here. But the other thing is I'm looking at YouTube as kind of another part-time job. And I've been frustrated because I've had things slow me down as far as like how I wanted to do videos going forward. Music, with copyright claims and Rogue's Tale, which didn't make any sense because it doesn't seem to be with any other games. I'm sure there's probably some games out there, but other games I've posted and things like that I see, it's just that music, I guess, was used in multiple things. So any of the videos I have that have a significant amount of music, it really seems to be specifically the town music, or at least part of the town music, that always triggers it. But that was an issue, like going with the music, and that's why I started using the YouTube free music, so you won't get any copyright claims. But yeah, and so that was things slowing me down. But the number one thing that always slows me down, and why it's like I'm trying to think if I had full calendar years where I didn't post anything. I know I've gone about a year without posting stuff, and the number one underlying reason for that, I mean, heck, we had COVID and I wasn't working for a good part of COVID. or not. I mean, because it's gone on forever. But the early part, I wasn't working and stuff like that, and then working less, not going out or anything for effectively pretty much only recently. And so yeah. But so the number one reason why is I mentioned this in my Discord, and I said I would go into more detail. And so this is how I'm going to go into more detail, is through this, specifically because a lot of people aren't in my Discord. And if you'd like to, it's linked both on my YouTube and on my Twitch, on OnPhyre Gaming on Twitch. So my health, I've had incredible health issues for 20 years. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's 20 years. So I went to school, so I'm older. I got facial hair, so I look a little older again. But whenever I shave, I look like I remember when I started at my current job 3 years ago, the person thought I was 19, and they were off by quite a lot. So I graduated college, going to get close to aging myself. I have a degree in chemistry, and I got that in 2006. And that's when the health problems actually really started. So I've never worked in the field that I wanted to work in since I was a teenager. Besides, I've worked when I was going to school for a year, but that also counted as undergraduate research and everything. But yeah, so starting in 20 years ago, but then, gosh, even more than 20 years ago, actually, but where I became what is classified as disabled, that truly began in 2006, basically June 1st. And I've been disabled since then. Occasionally you might see their feet over yonder. I have to walk with forearm crutches. And I do also have a prosthetic, which I can't use. I try to, but it hurts incredibly bad. I'm missing 100% of my right leg. I am a very rare type of amputee that's missing all of my right leg. And so most prosthetics attach to what's ever left of your leg, and my prosthetic has nothing to attach to as far as the leg, so it has to attach to around. It's like a girdle, which is like a big belt, if some of you don't know, but it's like this, like 8 inches thick. I'm holding back comments. I was trying to be PG. So it's very uncomfortable. It's like, I think now that part's mostly carbon fiber. I can look to get a new one, because that one I got end of 2014, but I've never really been able to use it much, which is very frustrating. But yeah, so my leg was removed in July of 2014, and I didn't think I'd get emotional. It was the happiest day of my life, which is weird to say, becoming a rare type of amputee that you're missing an entire appendage. And because that's how bad That's how bad it was. Like I said, it really started. So 2006, I officially, became disabled, permanently, essentially. Though I did do things to try to fix it, and unfortunately, my body just doesn't seem to like having hardware in it. But yeah, I lost all the cartilage in my hip due to infection. It's called osteomyelitis, which is like staph infection in the bone. And that was from a previous surgery. And that was only the beginning. My leg had a couple other issues. One actually was unbelievably way worse than losing all the cartilage in your hip and having bone on bone. Like, I could still walk, but I pretty much, if I didn't use crutches, it was a very huge limp, because my leg wouldn't like work properly. Yeah, it, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like, so basically 6 months out of the year, I couldn't do anything. And that includes like pretty much playing games. Sometimes through part of that, I could play games. But yeah, I had a thing going on in my knee that they don't even quite know what it was. I think, autoimmune disease. But it was only affecting my knee. Someone else thinks I kept on having a continuing infection. But this is after the fact, and I'm not so sure they're right about that. But the thing is, I did react to taking prednisone, which is a type of steroid that's used for autoimmune, but it's general, and I never got okay, I don't want to get into other rants, but I just never properly got it treated like the way it should have. And again, I didn't have it diagnosed, and fortunately, so that is the number one reason I'm glad it is gone. So the unfortunate thing, though, besides my leg being gone, which honestly doesn't bug me much, I mean, in the sense that as far as like the emotional attachment, but it does affect me a lot in that I use my upper body a lot. That's why, like, you'll see, like, with my neck and traps and everything, the reason why they're as developed as they are is because I'm always using crutches and kind of go in like a motion like that. So I don't use the ones that go under the arm. I use what are called like forearm. They have another name. I think like after a person. I could Google it and look. But yeah, anyway, so I use forearm crutches to get around, and that causes has been causing me pain the last few years. And yeah, so the thing is, my leg, what it did to me, because of I had so many hospitalizations, like I said, I was basically useless, and it essentially bedridden about 6 months every year from 2006. Even before 2006, I was bedridden at times from the knee. See, the surgery I shouldn't have got, but I didn't know what was going on with my knee, and it just progressively got worse, and it just got where it was so bad. And so that was actually the leading cause of me being bedridden. And then I also had complex regional pain syndrome in my foot. On top of that formed 2004. Yeah, that started. And so this was when I was going to college. So I was doing a lot, particularly the second half of my college life. But I was able to finish, and actually I'm very proud of the way I finished in school. So it's at least good to say, I got that, and everything. And I still hope that I'm you know, I'm a huge nerd in pretty much every sense. I'm atypical in a lot of things. Like I also, you know, do try to go to the gym and things like that. And, but, you know, I think, you know, that's not going to be the stereotypes, but you know, I'm a nerd. And yeah, so you know, it's like I love science. I love science fiction things. And yeah, so where was I going? So at the period from particularly 2006 to 2014, when I got my leg removed, and even I'm going to stretch out a couple of years, because it was good at first when I got my leg removed, and then my body just started having so much pain. So part of this was, back then, I was in pain all the time. Let me correct that. I was in worse pain all the time. And the thing is, the knee was so bad. And then I kept on getting surgeries in my legs. So you can understand, like, it's just in my body. So I was trying to work out during all this too. And sometimes I think I tend to push too hard. I know I tend to push too hard. I love things hard, and I do things hard a lot. Keeping it PG. So, yeah, so it's just like I really didn't get to have a life again from all the way from 2006 until essentially 2017, and then that's when I first started. So during all this time, like, I was playing games. Like, I started playing Rogue's Tale in 2015, I'm pretty sure it was, you know, if you look back, there's a post. Actually, I'm even going to oh, maybe I can pull it up on Steam. That way I can actually even share it. Let's see. Discussions. Can I look at discussions? Oh, yeah, so there's a post thing. I wanted to post it up here so I could, like, show it. I'll pull it up in my Steam here. I'm a little paranoid, so I didn't want to share my Steam, but if I could do it in the browser, and be better. Oh, I think if I go back to Google. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to find this post. So I did this post in Rogue's Tale, though, that's saying it helped me through one of the most difficult times of my life, because pre my leg removal definitely was the most difficult, but the 2015 up until basically the middle of 2017 also was incredibly difficult. You know, I was unable to do, you know, I wasn't really doing anything. It was very difficult for me to move around or get out at all. And okay, let's see. I think it's toughest time. Let me search here and see. I want to get the exact title. Oh, I think it's thank you. Yeah, I think I'll do thank you, maybe. Ah, yeah, here it is. Thanks to the creator of this game. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. In the browser. Okay, Rogue's Tale. I think this is it. Oh no, that was someone else. Okay, now I should be able to. What the heck? Oh, I think it's in German. I was like confused. How do I switch it to English? I don't know how to read. Sorry, not German. Russian. I apologize. Russian. Well, I'm not even sure. Okay, I'm just gonna stop doing this. Oh man, but yeah. So it got me. Yeah, just look up. Thanks to the developer of this game, and look for fire, or thanks to the creator of this game. Yeah. And yeah, it will pop up if you search in the Rogues Tell discussion. Because yeah, it was something that I was able to focus on and not have to focus on like how much pain. Yeah, so getting to a later part. Sorry about this. I didn't mean for this to go on this long, but I just wanted to go. So I really couldn't start having a life until about 2017. I finally started actually socializing while I was playing games. I'd socialized in Rogue's Tale before that, but as far as like playing games with people, because it was too energy intensive. Like it's really hard to understand unless you've like, imagine when like you're like sickest or whatever, and like you just don't feel like, slash it's just like you really can't do anything, and that's pretty much how I feel every day, like even to this day. So I work part-time, perfect job for me, and it like I just, that's one of the reasons, like you'll notice I adjust a lot, because it's like I'm always really hurting back here, and then like the stump. I'll post a video on that. I don't know what I do in this room. This room is a mess. Like maybe I'll do a phone video or whatever downstairs. But that's why this room, like I've been here for over a year now, and it's still like Jess, she's made like these signs for me and stuff like that I showed in another video. But this is kind of a spare room that's like my game room, but really I wanted it for more than just me, but really I don't have like anything set up else. So it's really is just my computer room. But it's kind of chaos besides what you see all around me. I need to get stuff up on the walls and everything. But yeah, I'm so bad at quick. Like I wanted this to be like 5 minutes. The Rogue's Tale part I wanted to go into a little bit of detail, but then this part I wanted to be like 5 minutes. But yeah, so the missing leg isn't the biggest thing. It's just that I hurt a lot, and then what's always bigger is the amount of fatigue I feel every single day, and it's just I don't really know what it is. It might just be that when your body's beat up for I mean, even I can go back before 2006, almost starting all the way back in 99. That's why I said it's been going on really more than 20 years. Where first the knee, then surgery, the complex regional pain syndrome, that was 2004, and then full disability 2006, and then from there, all 2006 all the way until 2017, I basically did nothing. Every day was trying not to feel about as bad as you can feel, and felling. And the only time I could really get a good escape was really focusing on games, and it was always easiest if I was just doing one game. And yeah, like I said, I really enjoy going into super fine detail and going back and playing games. Like there's lots of games that I have 1,000+ hours in. Yeah, it's just, and, you know, I really had to focus on non-action oriented games, which is why I gravitated towards roguelikes. And I kind of think I only pinpointed it now on why roguelikes are good for me, because regular RPGs, like, I love regular RPGs, but I haven't been able to really play one like pre-2010. Maybe a little after, I'm trying to remember, but for some reason the task, you know, it's like, I mean, usually it's like, and I haven't played any recent RPGs, that's the thing, I don't even know what the amount of hours are expected, but usually to do everything, it was like somewhere between 50 to 100 hours, depending on the RPG. And I just, the amount of focus, it's like kind of that longer task and everything just was too much for me to get all in my mind, even though you don't have to do that. Like, I like to do things well, and that's always been the frustrating thing with it, is just like, it would exhaust me, and I couldn't play for more than like 30 minutes, and, you know, but I had all this time, and so it was frustrating. You know, it's like I might play it 30 minutes, but you know, if you're a busy person and everything, then it's understandable and it's not going to be so frustrating. But when you're absolutely doing nothing besides going to doctor's appointments, it's tough. And so I gravitated towards things I would just keep on playing and mastering. And so the times that were enjoyable and, you know, I was able to block out was through the games. And yeah, it's just like, I really enjoyed, really mastering things. But roguelikes, because they're shorter, I was able to play, like, I played some action roguelikes, like I played a lot of Binding of Isaac, and I love Enter the Gungeon. I've gotten really good, you know, done all the achievements in that. Don't have all the current achievements in Binding of Isaac because I keep on coming out with stuff, and it starts to get overwhelming. So, but yeah, and then Our Darker Purpose. Yeah, that's something I actually plan on going back to, even though it's like, I like to, it's nice to do these things that like no one else is really has content on. And those were my first videos, were Our Darker Purpose. And my videos are so much better now, and I want to go back. And also, I was never done with something. Like, I was streaming this actually the last year a lot. I was trying to get a 100-game win streak on hard mode. So I love consistency, consistent excellence. And I found with Our Darker Purpose, it's easier when you know everything to not die. Like in Binding of Isaac, especially with some of the characters, but even with the vast majority of characters, or what you do, you can end up just dying like that. And in Our Darker Purpose, you can technically have that happen, but you have healing items, unlike in Binding of Isaac. The majority of the time you don't have something right there that's going to heal you. And so it's about managing all that. And so that's why I've been able to have consistency. And so my goal has been a 100-game win streak. And I've had two 42, or was it 41? I think it was 41. Yeah, because I think the new record was 42 I died one win after, I believe it was. But yeah, I've had, I think, 4 in the 40s. Now I'm forgetting. I have to go back and look. But yeah, so I know I can do it. There's like 1 in 20 runs that is incredibly difficult. And so the problem is I can't play while I'm like not feeling well. And that's why I'll stop playing, is I don't want to like, now I think I'm past, I'm past my other win streaks. I think I'm like up to 47 or 48 now. Yeah, and so I want to go back to that. So I should do number 50 and then, yeah, see if I can get up to 100. Gosh, I feel like I haven't really explained well, like why I don't feel well. The part of it is I don't know. Like I feel like I was saying, everything, it wasn't like something quick with the leg, and that's why it was a relief to get my leg removed. I still look at it as like basically the happiest time of my life. So that's a good way to frame things. If the happiest time of your life is for most people what would be probably the worst time of their life, you know, besides when you die, if that's other people's worst day of their lives, that's a good way to frame like how bad it was for 10 years where it was really bad before I got my leg removed, and then 2017. So it like took me literally 3 full years to get to where I could start being I'm only going to say like semi-functioning by then, like so. And then you know, I started making friends and got into Discord and everything. That's when I started using Discord, was 2017, and I met it through playing Counter-Strike. And because I was able to play it well enough where it didn't get me so frustrated, because it's nice to think like, oh, I can work through like when I don't feel well and stuff, but it does affect you, and sometimes it affects me so greatly. And it, even though it's like it's a perfectly legitimate excuse, when you feel so bad like that, it's like most people, they only feel that bad like in short spurts, but that's you every day. It's, oh, I'm glad I'm not getting emotional. But yeah, so I want to make videos, and the reason why I was bringing this all up is it's very difficult at times for me. The playing's generally the easy part, but then I get into the playing and talking. Like and so we're getting 2 weeks, I think, from my last video for Rogue's Tale, and I did the gameplay, but then I need to get through editing the slow parts, speeding them up. Occasionally, like I said, I'm full on snipping out occasional parts, but usually most of it's just sped up. And then add the music, because now I'm adding it after instead of having it playing during. That way I can more easily manipulate the volume. Yeah, so and then work on the timestamps. And I think what I'm going to do, because the timestamps are pretty difficult in that I think I was doing them while I was editing the video, but sometimes I need to go back and change something before I do the final cut, or whatever you want to call it, and then that totally will screw up my timestamps. So I think I'm going to start not releasing those with the videos, and I'd like to get out the rest, because there's keep on being new patches, and I don't want there being a reset where it's like I'll have to start a new game. I don't want that to happen. Oh, but yeah, I haven't framed it very well. But I mean, obviously, you know, missing my right leg, I was on heavy pain meds for 11 years, 12 years. 11 years. Yeah, 11 years. Over 11 years, I was on pain medicine, and I talk it a lot, and that was, I think, part of it why I started all of a sudden like, hey, I hurt, and I didn't realize I was hurting. It wasn't just coming off of the pain medicine. It's like, that's another thing. It's like they give you this label when they don't quite know what's going on. So I'm technically have fibromyalgia as far as like the symptoms, because of the brain fog, the fatigue. The fatigue's always the worst. Just constant generalized pain. So I haven't been pain free before 2003 was the last time I wasn't hurting every single day. And then now it's just like, again, that's part of why I adjust so often. You'll hear me scooch around in my chair. A little bit of it's the missing leg, and it's like trying to make sure I have better posture, because that's sometimes part of the pain, is having bad posture. And I guess the surgeries, several infections, obviously the removal of the leg, which I guess is classified as the surgeries, and then coming off of all there was more than just pain medicine. There's other medications too. I'm not going to go into all the details, but there was just a lot of medications. There's one point where I was on close to 20. And thankfully that's no longer the case. But it's every day is still a struggle. Every day is still like, I'm finally making this video because this is actually, so I just got off work, and this is, I feel, okay, and okay is basically the best I ever get. All right, I'm whining. But so I wanted to give insight on why I'm slow, but also it's like I want to do stuff, and it's frustrating. Like I'm an extremely motivated person. Like that's the thing, is like didn't do anything for like 11 years, and it's like, yeah, pretty much, didn't work for over 12 years. Didn't work for over 12 years, and I'm extremely motivated. Like, so yeah, I got a degree in a field most people consider, one of the most difficult fields. It's arguable, like, what's the most difficult, but it's up there as like, and so I did that. I paid for it out of my own pocket. I was working the entire time I was doing this, and I was the second half I was dealing with all the leg stuff. So I'm working, and my grades got better. Like, I was bad at schooling earlier on. I just was never good at taking tests. Like, I'm great at doing homework. Never someone that does not turn in homework. Show up to all the classes and everything. But bad test taker. And so finally I started getting better, started getting my groove on how to study, and so my grades got better as I felt worse. So I did that, worked the entire time. Before that, I don't know if this makes me more of a nerd or something, but so I was in Boy Scouts, and I got my Eagle Scout in 3.5 years, which I'm sure there's people that have gotten it quicker, but as far as like anyone I've met, that's the fastest anyone's ever gotten it. I always had a lot of ambitions, and it's like life's been totally altered, and so I need to figure out like what's realistic. because unfortunately that's the thing is I got better to a point, and then I've been stuck in the same place the past 4 years. Yeah, basically 4 years where I've been in about the same place, which is better. It's functional, but I still have these big lulls where I can't do much. Like playing games at times is still difficult. So even just playing the game and then and making the videos, then I want to be talking now. I still might sometimes maybe do some straight playthrough videos, but where I'm not talking or anything, just like video of a game. But yeah, it seems to be better to be talking and then trying to have present myself. And there's a point where like you can't make yourself sound good or look like you're not feeling bad. And some of the times when I'm streaming, it's like I want to do something, but then it's like I don't feel very good, and it's hard for me to do that. But so yeah, it's all about finding the balance, and it's like I wanted to come out with at least 2 videos a week, and I had such a bad past 2 weeks after I released my last video, and I know I'm just full of excuses. Fire, get to work, people want the videos. Also, thanks, I'm up to over 500 subscribers now, which is crazy. It's like it's been awesome. Like, just that I was still getting like subscribers when I wasn't posting anything for like a year and things like that. And then now that I've been posting stuff, like the analytics on my channel, I need to find the next game after Rogue's Tale of what I want to focus on, because I kind of think I'd like to continue this where I'm like focusing on something that doesn't have the detail. Might already be something I've done, because I played another good amount of games. Actually, I'd like to do one of the games I've been playing again, but I'm sure there's probably a decent amount of content on that, but it's Dungeon of the Endless. I also want to find new games, and like one of the games I really wanted to play was Stone Shard, and then I just started really struggling, and then this past year or two was only not about me, but it had a lot going on. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the vlog video that I released, but yeah, it was an incredibly difficult year because of that. There was things that I did I can't believe I was able to do. I'm proud of myself, but it was really hard, and I'm just glad it's like so much better. I just wish my body would just be more consistently feel better. Like that's the thing, is I need the consistency where like today, like if today was my bad days, or not the worst of the worst days, but at least this was closer to the average, then this is like about as good as it gets, then I would be able to get so much more done. Anyways, guys, I'm so good at rambling. Yeah, so thanks everyone for his support with the channel. It's been awesome. Any of that watched this entire thing, thank you. Like part of me like wants to redo this because I like wanted to say everything I said in like 5 to 10 minutes, past the Rogue Tale part. The Rogue Tale part, that was fine with how I talked about all that, but now I'm getting into like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure the music's still going on. Yeah, okay, good. I mean, I can see my desktop audio going, so, but okay. So I think that's about it. I just wish I'd better at explaining things, but yeah, the sort of it is missing right leg, never feel good. but you know, still a happy guy, and want to, you know, release stuff in ways that not many people are doing, or content that no one's done. Because I know at least there's a niche for me. I know that, like, so I just want to be able to get more consistent. I don't ever think, at least at this point, I'm going to be someone that releases a daily video. Like, I remember I was just watching something on PewDiePie, and it looks, from what it sounded like, they released a video every single day for 10 years. Which is amazing. Like, so a lot of these people that become successful, like, sometimes they wonder, but there's also a lot of people, it's just like, part of it is just being consistent. Like, I can see now, like, there's a path for me if I'm consistent. I'm not saying biggest thing ever or anything like that, but there's at least a niche for me, especially if I only focus on roguelikes, which I love, and I'm okay with that. I just want people to enjoy, give good information, and thanks everyone that watched this rambling, and I am going to that's the thing. I'm afraid I'm making promises, because I like basically made a promise, like it was in a reply to a comment, but still, that's what I was like, okay, I can do this now. It's like, I got a system, I know what I'm doing, and then bam, can't function really for about 2 weeks. You know, I streamed a little bit in that, but I just, the mental energy to do the video editing and all that. All right, I'm rattling. Thanks, everyone. Just remember this. This is fire, and we're on fire.